The more AI tools you use, the less productive you actually become. And I know that sounds crazy because everyone's telling you to use Claude for this, Perplexity for that, use Lovable, Airtable, Cursor, and God knows what else. But jumping between all of these tools doesn't just slow you down, it makes the LLMs worse. They start hallucinating, forgetting context, and the output drops every time you start fresh in a new tool. So I found a platform that claims to replace all of it. And to be honest, at first I didn't even believe it. But then I built a full client onboarding portal from scratch to test it out. This includes the research, competitive tracking, the build, everything in one place. And the results were honestly not what I expected. So let me show you what I mean. So what is this tool that we're using today? Well, it's called Rocket.new. They have over 1.5 million users across 180 countries. And so here's the thing. The AI industry has spent 2 years making building faster, but nobody's made the thinking before we actually do the building better. So Rocket 1.0 covers the full arc. So we've got research, competitive intelligence, and the build all in one connected workspace. And they call this vibe solutioning. So think of it as vibe coding, but for the entire process, not just the build step. Okay, so there's 3 parts to this process. We've got solve, so we can ask a question, a situation, a problem that we have in our business. Maybe we already have an idea of what we want to build. And so this phase is all about the research. Rocket.new will give us a comprehensive research report that we can then use to inform the build. Okay, and that's going to be the next step, right? We're going to end up with a production grade application, automation, whatever it is that we're building from the first generation. So this is going to be pretty cool to see. I'm going to take you through all of these steps as well. And then finally, we've got this intelligence phase. So we can do some pretty sneaky stuff to spy on our competitors. We can grab where your competitors are on every single platform and reveal kind of their strategy. So I'm also going to take you through that as well as we go through this tutorial. Okay, so we're going to get started with the solve stage, get the research done before we get into building. So first we're going to need a project, and this is going to house all of our context. So this is going to be a project for a consulting firm. I'm going to fill in a description in a second, and then I'm going to explain to you what our goal is and what we're trying to build here. Okay, so let me share with you the description. So we're building a client-facing layer of our firm's new operating stack. Today, our clients juggle email threads, Google Drive folders, calendar links, Stripe invoices, and the experience doesn't match the standard of work that we deliver. So I've got a nice name here for it. I have created some context files using AI to help inform the build. This is going to give us a really solid example and project to work with, and pretty realistic because this is what you're going to have to do with your own company. Now, you're going to have, I think hopefully you should have context files for your company. You know, what do you do, what your processes are, and specifically what you're trying to solve with Rocket.new. So what I'm going to do, you can see in this context window here on the right, this is where you can upload your context from your computer, Google Drive, Notion. You can invite collaborators, either as editor or just as a viewer, so that they can jump in and actually get to work alongside of you, or just see what's been going on. So in the context, I'm going to upload a few files. So in here, we've got brand guidelines, so about the firm, brand positioning, voice and tone, visual identity, typography, logo, UI, all of that stuff. We're going to upload that. The current workflow. So a typical Meridian engagement runs 8 to 16 weeks. Every client touches the following systems, but none of them talk to each other. Okay, so this is the current stack, what the client sees, what we want to fix beyond the portal, why this matters now, and some constraints. And then we've got the project description, which I just shared with you earlier. I'm going to put all of that in here to kind of inform these next steps, and then we're going to run a research report. And to do that, we're going to use the solve function, right? So there's a few different kind of prompts that you could use here if you want. What to build, competition, sales, strategy. So I have a few questions here that I want to ask. So I run a 20-person consulting firm. I need three things: a client-facing portal, an internal operations dashboard, and a professional website. Which should I build first, and what features matter most for each? And what should the client portal look like for C-suite executives who are my typical clients? So we're going to run that and see what kind of information we get back from this research report. It's going to take a minute. I'll be back with the report. So while it's building, you can see the jobs to be done and the success criteria. So determine optimal build sequencing and feature prioritization for 3 surface digital operating stack serving C-suite consulting clients. So we've got clear rationale for build order, prioritized feature sets, actionable design patterns, SSO implementation options. Okay, it's going. We'll be back. Okay, so we're back with the strategy. This is the report that it's generated as a lovely PDF. I will say we can download that if we need. We can ask questions about the report if you want. We've got the verdict, which is to build the client portal within 12 weeks or lose 2 of your largest clients to a decision window already in motion. So if you remember, the original question was, do I need to build the client-facing portal or the internal operations dashboard or a professional website first? And it's flagging here that the client-facing portal. So you can see here we've got the key findings. We can read through these if we want. But this is the report. You can see there's a bunch of different sections in here. Now, we don't have time to go through everything on this call, but this is going to be great context when we get onto the build section. So we see the chapters. We've got what Rocket discovered. The 12 to 16 week retention clock is already running. 4 modules define a C-suite portal that works in 3 seconds. 62% adoption is the floor, and a bunch of stuff. Again, I'm not going to take you through all of this, but that is pretty cool. Took about, I want to say 35, 45 minutes. So it's done a really in-depth job there. And if you can think, if you've ever used the Claude Deep Research, that typically takes 20 minutes. So this, to me, must be incredibly detailed and super helpful for this project. Just wanted to bring your attention to this one page here. So 4 modules prioritize what belongs in Portal version 1. So these are some of the key features that, from the research, seems like should be included. So project timeline, must have, document library, invoice history, meeting scheduling. I mean, those are all the things that I would think of anyway that we would need in here. And we've got a design system. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to download this and we can add this to the context file. So I've downloaded this PDF and we can go back into the project and get to the build stage. Okay, so let's get building. So the first thing we can do is just click this build button here. It's going to tell Rocket.new what we're about to do. And I'm just clicking here. I'm seeing they've got slash commands. Remind you of anything? Well, we've got reimagine. Okay, reimagine the website, full website makeover, mobile first redesign, insight-driven redesign. So I'm not going to touch on these just yet. And you can also see we can add a project as well. But we're in a project here. You can see the folder down here, which again looks very similar to other tools that we've used. But this is useful because it's clean, and this is actually quite useful. It feels familiar. It's very clean, and so I've got this prompt here that's basically going to tell Rocket.new what we need to build. So we've got the login and auth, the client dashboard with project timeline, document library, meeting scheduler, invoices, and then we've got these integrations: Airtable, Calendly, and Stripe. We've got a bit of visual direction as well, because if you remember in the brand guidelines, we do have the full design palette, so that the fonts, the colors, all of that good stuff. And then the outcome is the client experience should answer, where am I, what matters, and what do we do next within 3 seconds of landing. So it seems like a pretty good start. So let's see what we get in a few moments. And while that's working, I just wanted to show you the categories here. We've got landing page, we've got dashboard, we've got website, we've got SaaS, mobile app, which honestly I've not seen in any of these kind of tools before. And e-commerce. Oh, did you hear that? That means we are ready to check out what it's been building. So it's built the client portal, authenticated web application, with all this good stuff. This will be a front end only build, and you can wire those connections in after the app is created. Okay, no problem. I mean, we are going to have to wire in some credentials. There's no way around that. Okay, so it's given us a couple of templates here, and just know in Rocket there are a ton of different templates that you can use for different industries. I mean, look at all that. That's crazy. But in our case, we don't want to use a template. We've already given it the instructions of our brand colors and fonts and things. So we want it to use that. Now, as it's building here, you can see if we just read, it's got an agent detected prompt score 91. So it's rating our prompt. And I assume if it's down below 50% or something, it will probably make some suggestions to improve this. Okay, let's take a look at what we've got. Everything has generated. We still need to do the authentication with a few things here, but this is what it's built. So 5 fully implemented screens. So we'll take a look at all of those. And I mean, this looks pretty slick. We've got the demo account login here, which I'm going to check out in a sec. See the client dashboard. If it's gonna load. Okay, that's the client dashboard. Nice. It's put in some mock data as well. That's the invoices. So this is the dashboard. Okay, engagement timeline. I like it. Upcoming meetings. Document library, which is this tab here. And then the sign up login, invoices, and the meeting scheduling. Pretty nice, honestly. If we check this out in full screen, looks even nicer. You see I'm logged in there. Got the invoices. I wonder if we can, okay, pay. That's not going to take us anywhere. So you've got these different documents in here. It's cool. I'll be pretty happy with this. There is a few more things that we want to build as well. If we want to do the integrations here, like if we want to connect to Airtable, we just can hit the button and it's going to connect to Airtable. I think it's just going to need to ask for our credentials. So yeah, it's literally just a one-click connect. I mean, I can connect it if I want. I do have an Airtable account. We can connect it just to show you how quick and easy it can be. Okay, boom, the integration is done, but we're not going to need to use that right now. Again, there's nothing in Airtable for it to populate from. So we're going to go back here and we want to build again. So we can click dashboard, but these are all just prompts you can use as templates. For me, I've got this one here. So build a partner-facing internal operations dashboard with a project pipeline, team utilization, revenue tracking by client. It's going to be an internal tool that we're going to use. So let's flick that off and get it rocking and rolling. So as we saw last time, the agent detected prompt score, 84%. Okay, I'll be happy with that. And now it's going to start building. I'll be back when it's done. All right, so we've built phase 2. So we've got the 4 screens, the project pipeline, the team utilization, revenue tracking, and sign-in. So this is internal, right? So we've got the projects, the pipeline. Let's bring this in full screen so we can have a look around here. So 11 engagements, 5 in flight, 2 at risk, average completion 47%. We can't click into these, but we can check out the team utilization tab. Okay, we can't click into that, but okay, associate, these different seniority levels and different officers, got London office, then the revenue tracking, also very important. So we could see which client is bringing in the most revenue on track, which ones are at risk. So that's pretty solid for the instructions that we've given it. Got a few options of what we can do here. Integrate Airtable, integrate Stripe. Not going to do that right now, but it's a simple one click. We can add the partner authentication. Demo signing with software-based authentication. Okay, we're probably not going to need that right now. Export revenue. I think that'd be a cool feature to add. Then we're going to get on to the next step. Now, the thing is with Rocket.new, there is, I think, over 25 different integrations that you can use just at the click of a button. You don't have to grab API keys or anything like this. It's just like a one-click sign-in with all the classics, Stripe, Notion, Google Sheets, Airtable, as you've seen, Stripe, and a whole bunch more. And if you want to check out Rocket.new, you can grab a free trial. You can try out completely for free. Now, honestly, I've tried all the platforms. Lovable is something that I've used for a long time. This, to me, is, I want to say on par, but I think a little bit better because everything is one place. In Lovable, you don't have the research element and the reporting and that entire sort of context for your project. So when it comes to that and then tying that in with the actual build, I think this is just nudging a little bit ahead. So love to keep building in this and trying out some solutions for my own business. So remember, this is internal, and then we have another project where we've got the external stuff. Okay, so we've got a few more suggestions of next steps here. I'm going to add the dashboard home screen and submit that. And then we're going to move on to the third part of this build, which is to create the website, the company website. So we've got client-facing dashboard, we've got internal project tracking, and then we have a company website. Again, in the similar kind of colors and styles. This is based on the information that we gave it in the context, right? In the actual project. If we pop back into, well, we'll go back into the project in a second once it's finished implementing this last step here. So yeah, I didn't have to re-explain anything. I didn't have to give it additional context here. It's pulling it all from the project context, the report, and the additional files that I uploaded in about the business and the current situation and how things work right now. So we've added this home screen section, and I'm just noticing up here as well, we can capture a screenshot, we can send it to a device to view on mobile, we can remix the task. We've got one member in here so far, which is the user, and we can obviously hook it up to GitHub, right? You'd expect that from a tool like this. So let's go back into the project, and we're going to build the website. As you can see, we've got all the context, we've got all our tasks that we've been working on, so Meridian Portal, Meridian Ops, and so we've got 5 pages, a public-facing marketing website with homepage, services, team, case studies, contact. Let's go. All right, check this out. Let's go full screen to preview this. This looks really nice. Clean, professional. Yeah, I'm digging that. See, start a conversation. That's getting us through to the contact page, which is complete with addresses. We've got the footer here. Very nice. We go to the services. You can see it's including the services there, which is pretty cool. Pulling from all the context that we gave it. Let's take a look at the team. Partner leg, no exceptions. Nice. Okay, no photos here, which is, oh, okay. Oh, I take that back. It's given me some, these are my new AI generated employees. Wow, I like it. And then there's a whole additional roster of team here. Classic. I mean, some of this framing is not the best, but you can see his head's cut off, but we could easily fit that. Head over to the case studies page. All right. I think these are presented really, really well. Can we check out mobile, for example? Okay. It's all working for mobile as well. Laptop. Yep. Cool. So we've got team, services, homepage, contact, case study, and then case study detail. So this is an in-depth case study, which is what you want, you know, people want to know more. So there we have it. Those are the 3 build stages. Pretty impressed, to be honest. So I'm loving this, and you can see we built this just from this simple prompt at the top, right? There's no additional context added here. I didn't have to add my brand guidelines or anything like this, you know, the case studies, people on my team, because it's pulling that from the project and the context files that we've already added. So we've got consistent design, consistent context across all of these builds. So anything that we do building here is just going to pull from these files, which is, I think, pretty smart. So there we have it. We've built the portal, the site, and the operations side. Now, there is one final thing that I want to show you, which I think is also incredibly important. So the final piece of the puzzle is intelligence. So how do we monitor our competitors to see what they're doing, what they're changing, what they're posting online, and how we can adjust our strategy based on that? So we need to set our website live. That's one thing that we're going to need to use in the intelligence section. You can see we could select it down here. We're going to need a business URL. So I'm going to grab that. Here you can have a Rocket host domain. You could add a custom domain, or you could purchase a new domain inside the platform. Okay, so we've got the staging environment is live on the URL. And for production, I think we'll need a domain here. So see if we can grab this and use in here. Team size 11 to 50, what matters most. Let's do revenue, key hires and exits. Okay, so we need to grab a competitor's URL. So we've got on here, Alex Partners. Oops, let's grab that. Pop that in there. Just keep one at the moment. Push notifications and email, that's fine for me. Weekly digest, and let's approve that. Okay, so this can take a few hours, so we'll get notified by email. So I'll be back when that is all completed. Okay, so our competitor intelligence report has come back, and you can see it's watching, obviously, my business, Meridian Strategy Partners. So we can see news, website, customers, people. Obviously, there's not going to be much here because we've just created it, so that's fine. But let's take a look at our competitors. This is really where the juice is. We can take a look at overall look. Over 3,000 employees. So this is a pretty big company. And there's a bunch of signals here. We've got from the news, website, YouTube, Instagram, blogs, TikTok. So it's managed to pull from all of these platforms. You can see recent activity. TikTok ad library returned 20 third-party sponsored ads matching against alexpartners.com. It's got 9 open roles. Yeah, a bunch of signal activity here, rated from normal to notable. And we can view all of them in here. So we could filter by notable. Let's say YouTube, and you can see it's filtered all of these down. And we can see when specific members of their team were speaking at an event, for example. This could give us some really good ideas for events that we might want to attend to get similar clients. So let's just run back. And we've got the news whenever this company was mentioned in the news, which is pretty damn often. And we can narrow that down by podcast, newsletter, press release, news coverage, all sources. So there's a lot of stuff to dig into here. And customers, yeah, not much there. People, okay, wow. There's a lot going on here, especially on LinkedIn. So we could connect with everybody here on their team. So that's something that you can set up for your business if you want to keep tabs on a specific company or your competitors. It's going to give you a super in-depth analysis of all of the signals, all of the noise that they're making online. So that's going to wrap up this tutorial, this build. And hopefully you could see how different this is to using something like Lovable, because we've got this context center where every build pulls from here. We can add in collaborators, and we can set the role, right? So people can either just view what's going on here, or they can actually edit and get involved. I'm pretty impressed. And this is Rocket.new. They are the sponsor of today's video. And if you do want to try their platform out completely for free, then there's going to be a link in the description below. Okay, so let's just zoom out here for a second on what we discovered. We researched the market. We tracked our competition. We built a full onboarding portal with authentication, dashboard, integrations, everything. And I did it all inside one project where it knew what we were doing at every step before and after it. So if you want to try Rocket 1.0 yourself, the link is in the description. And if you actually want to learn how to build production-ready automations just like this and start making money with AI, check out my AI Architects program. That's where I put everything I've learned from my 8 years of automation and marketing experience and $25 million in client results. So you can check that out in the description as well. Thanks for watching once again, and I'll see you in the next one.